Hello everyone, thank you for stopping by and welcome back to another Minecraft Survival Seed review. If you have been here before, thank you for coming back. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and everyone give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate it very much and thank you for all the support so far. Now let's get to it. So I have here again a large map where I did all 25 of them. As usual, I started with a small map and uncovered all of that, and then saved the game, reopened it with a new map size as medium, or world size of medium, went through those maps, saved it again, and reopened it as a large map to do the last outer ring. So 25 maps in total for you here. In this case, different than last time, I did actually redraw the borders in between, and that did actually have one pretty interesting effect I will get to in a moment. So this is actually the Valley of the Kings map I did a small seed review of a while back. So those of you that watch that, none of those things changed because I started with a small map. So I will do a real quick run by. For those of you that are new and have not seen that video, you can either watch it or real quickly I will go run through all the features of this little map. So the reason I like this one a lot and decided to expand to a full map, one, it was the most popular of the ones I did last time, and generally it's just a really good map. What I like most about it is lots of villages and desert temples right in the main area. As you hear, not too far from where I was set up my little base camp, there's a desert temple within sight of another one right here, and another good-sized village nearby. And then not too far away from here is my favorite temple of them all, which I missed the first time I went through here, is right below you, so completely buried in sand, with another adequate village near there. And to round out the main point, this one, another village not too far from that, actually a fairly good sized one. And really close to this village is a completely intact, above water, I guess, sunken ship. But so it is here completely, and overall I ended up seeing about a dozen of these where there were a complete and above the water, or mostly above the water in some fashion. And lastly, here is yet another desert temple. So in this main map here, 4 desert temples all really close together. There is a mansion up there for you to explore as well. So those are the basics. If you want more detail about this particular map, the center part of the map, you can go back and watch that other video. Now, very important, and I've said it before in other videos, of the reason why I start with a small map is you end up generally with more villages, temples, etc. in the small map rather than if you jump right to a large map. So that is, the primary reason why, because it is difficult to get out to some of those, especially if you're playing survival, to some of those outer maps. In fact, you may never make it out that far. So it does tend to concentrate more villages, temples, etc. into the center map. And I'm going to real quick now hop over to the original version of this with just the small map to explain why, another reason why it is so important you start with the small map. So here I am now back in the small map only version of Valley of the Kings, so you can see that the map has not changed. Everything is basically in the same place. However, here is one of the biggest reasons why you want to start small and discover everything before you move on to a medium or large map. And that is right here. So, at this point right here, I'm at X22Z -91 is the end portal. So when you start with a small map, the end portal is always going to be, of course, in that small map. Very easy to find in this case because it's close by to a village. Oh, getting stuck. So it's important to do that because if you don't find this while you're in a small map and then save it and open as a medium map, it will move. So there will still be a stronghold down there, but no end portal in it. I did not bother going through the medium and large maps to find out where it is, but it did end up somewhere in that direction up in a map, not even in the center map anymore, farther up there. So here you see as the small map version, the portal is right there. And here I am again on the large map where I did not discover or find the end portal before expanding the map, and if you go down in the exact same spot, there's a stronghold, but no end portal. And I went through this for about 10 minutes, going through every room, never found it. So, critically important that you find it. Obviously don't dig straight down there, but at least make sure you find it before expanding. So a little bit about what I do, for those of you that don't know. So when I go through these maps, I label them. You can see here I have labeled them A, B, C, D going across, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like any good spreadsheet program. So when I make references to other things I'll be showing soon, that is how I explain the grid. So map D2, for example, is right here. So anyway, I'm going to now go through, show a couple of things. So as it says in the title of the video, there are over 350 shipwrecks. And that's just that I found. It's entirely possible I missed one or two in there, but I do as thorough a review as I can. So I'm going to show you a couple of those that I thought were pretty cool scenarios or instances, the way they generated on the map. Go through a couple other points and then share the map with you, and that'll be it. So let's hop over to a couple of shipwrecks. So here's the first shipwreck I wanted to show you. I thought that was really cool that it's completely buried in sand. So it's almost like it crashed ashore, and then over time the land kind of expanded around it. It ended up looking more like a graveyard than a shipwreck. So I did think that was interesting. I didn't want to disturb the sand and go in there and explore it, but I would assume all the normal treasure chests would be in there, except for maybe the one that sometimes sits up here in the front. But I did think this one was really cool. So this map is D2, so just up one and over to the right one from the center map. So it should be really easy to get to if you can eventually venture off from the main map. And here we have the other shipwreck I wanted to show you, which I did nearly miss when I went through the map originally, unless I came around in a different direction and I happened to see this sticking up out of the water. And sure enough, down under here is a more or less intact shipwreck. So I thought this was just really fascinating. It gives you some ideas to what generates, well, it doesn't give you an idea of what generates first, the shipwreck or the iceberg. But this was just a really cool thing I had never seen before. It even has the chest in there. You can find the one. So this one obviously would be a lot harder to get to. Let me get out of the water. Does anybody else like hold their own breath when they're under the ice? It's like the creepiest feeling. I can't imagine a worse way to go than drowning. Anyway, this is found in map E5, so the very bottom right corner map. So it would be really hard to get to in survival, but if you had the chance to, it would be, well, as rewarding as any other shipwreck. But again, just one of the coolest things I had seen, to have a shipwreck not only floating completely at the bottom of the sea, but and to be intact, but to be buried under ice like that. So that was the other shipwreck I wanted to show you. So here there's a couple other items I wanted to, some points of interest or interesting objects or locations within the map. So lastly, I wanted to share something that was really a change from what I normally experience. So I'm back here in the small version of the map where it is only the small map. I didn't expand or anything else. And you had this village on the edge here. And in prior videos where I had done this, I always left the borders as they were. So I ended up with a square river essentially going around the center map. And the reason I did that is structures like this church and other buildings here that are close to the edge would get deleted as it rebuilt the land to merge the borders together, or parts of the village or things would disappear. And in this case it was completely different. As you can see here, not only did it not disappear or anything go away, but it plopped a second village directly next to it. And interestingly, it's actually still, based on the numbers of where it is, still in the center map. So that is definitely the first time anything like that has ever happened, where a new village spawned in the center map when I did that. But it was just really, really strange, and I really liked the way that worked out, especially because they're two different biomes, so it created two different types of buildings and everything. So I thought that was worth mentioning as you expand that. So it seems like any errors or issues there were with the edges getting wiped out and redrawn have gone away. Although this village does seem to still be cut off in some way. Anyway, that was the last thing I wanted to show you, so now I will go over to the map where I'd actually document and show you all the points on a map too many for me to actually display them on the screen. As I said, there are over 350 shipwrecks, 180 almost ruins that I saw. So I will provide a link where you can download the documents with all of that. If anybody has troubles with the link, leave a message on there. I will see if I can send them out, email them, although I don't want to spend too much time doing that. So please do your best to try and get that link to work. I know sometimes it doesn't behave properly. So now I'm going to jump over to the map and show you all those points. Thanks again for coming by to check out this large map seed review. I appreciate the likes, supports, keep it up, and we're working on some other projects, me and the kids, so hopefully we have more to share with you soon. Thanks again, and we'll see you later.